place explodes. Like, it still gives me goosebumps to this day. I think that was the loudest crowd reaction I've ever heard. It was just amazing.
I was actually there with my older brother. That exact event.
And that was just, that whole feud was so great. That's wrestling. That's what I want. That was just great.
Yep, I totally agree. Another question we had from Kaz, who is a UK forum member. He wants to know, what do you like outside of wrestling? He also wants to know if you follow football, as in soccer.
I follow soccer, but only when it's like World Cup or European Championships, simply because I do not have the time to follow, with the individual team or something. What I do, I love cooking. I actually was cooking while talking to you. I love, working out. I love going shopping. I love laying around watching TV. I think I'm a very active person. I go to the gym or practice like twice a day, so I'm always on the road. I just enjoy that kind of stuff. If you go to my website or my blog, which you can get through my website, which is www.claudiocastagnoli.com, I have a blog up where I pretty much always explore, making a little review of my weekend, and there's recipes up there of stuff I cook and I like to cook, and just stuff like that. So you get a pretty good idea of what I'm doing.
I was actually going to reference that I had seen on your website about recipes that you had. So I was actually going to mention that I've seen that you were into cooking. I posted the link. Guys, the link for the website is in the chat. You should check that out. I actually seen it from Claudio's MySpace, and so you guys should check that out right there.
Yeah, it's myspace.com/Claudio Castagnoli. I'm also on Facebook. I don't know my Facebook address, but you'll find me there. Or just go to www.claudiocastagnoli.com, and it will have all the links, all the pages you can find me on. You can contact me there. You can write me a message. You can follow me on Twitter. You can read my blog. It always has funny pictures of me being on the road and drinking lots of coffee. All the good stuff. And, of course, my recipes. Try them. Let me know what you think of them. Yeah.
All right.
Lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, there is a lot of stuff on there. You go on there, I guess, expecting it to be, just about wrestling, and there really is a lot of stuff to look up on there.
But there's also wrestling on there, because I've been had people being like, it's write about wrestling. I always write about wrestling, because that's what my whole life is about. It's about wrestling, I update I update the website myself, so there's always changes, there's always updates, always different stuff.
All right. What DVD I've seen on your MySpace and on your website? DVD just went up for sale. Claudio vs. Brody, the anthology DVD.
Exactly. Claudio vs. Brody, the anthology DVD, which is basically a recap or a whole feud from Chikara last year, with all the great matches, all the promos, the music videos, the podcasts. It's the whole 9 yards. And for all those who haven't seen that feud, that was one of the biggest feuds in Chikara, not just because we were two big wrestlers. That was one of the biggest feuds that actually ended in the first ever Chikara cage match. And everybody who has followed Chikara for a while probably never thought that would happen.
Yeah, I couldn't even contemplate seeing a cage around a Chikara ring, to be honest with you. But hey, gotta do it. I mean, it's a good match. It's just not Chikara's style. They're very lucha libre style and very pure wrestling and comedy. I mean, there's all kinds of wrestling in Chikara, but hardcore is not something they tend to go for. No. But one of our this question's been keeps popping up because he really wants me to ask it. Vintage in chat wants to know, what's the atmosphere between two wrestlers before and after a match?
Tense.
There you go.
Of course, yeah.
Now before a match, obviously, do you feel better working with someone you've worked with plenty of times before, or does it not matter? I mean, do you need that trust issue in a match, or? I mean, I know
It depends.
I mean, it's kind of like, do you have to trust the other person to take care of you, or do you just automatically?
That's one of the bases of pro wrestling. But I think everything has its challenges. There's a big challenge to wrestle somebody for the first time, and there's a big challenge to wrestle somebody for the 15th time. So it's a big challenge every single time, and that's the beauty about it. Okay.
Mitch would like to know, would you ever consider doing a masked or costume gimmick? I know you were Super Dragon. You played one of the Super Dragons before in PWG, but he wants to know if you would ever consider doing a masked or costume gimmick.
Maybe. Who knows? Why not?
What? Hey. I actually want to know this. What is your build, height, and weight for wrestling right now?
6'5", 107 kilos, which is about 235 pounds.
Because, like I said, I've seen you several times. You are very. It might not come off on TV, but you're a big guy.
Yes, and it is my legit weight. It's not, I'm weighing 250 pounds and 6'7". No, I'm 6'5" and 230 pounds.
All right. Wow, a lot of questions in chat. Actually, Vintage wants to know. I don't know why Vintage wants to know this. He wants to know if you ever would consider working in TNA, and also he wants to know about the suicide gimmick.
If people ask me, would you work in TNA? Would you work in WWE? I'm like, yeah, I just want to wrestle. I haven't seen much of the suicide gimmick, but I think it's a great idea. I think it's great that it, originated in a video game, created interest there, and then they created a real storyline with it. They also, TNA won a prize for that, actually, on one of the video game conventions. So I think it's a great idea.
How much do you get to watch of mainstream wrestling? I know you do have a busy schedule. How much WWE and TNA do you actually get to watch?
I try to watch as much as possible. I usually watch Raw, try to watch TNA. SmackDown, I'm usually on the road, so I can't really watch it as much. But if I'm at home, I try to watch it.
Okay. Who do you think is really stepping up on the WWE product? I feel, and I know a lot of my forum feels, that WWE is actually doing very well as of late, and they were kind of in a slump before. Who do you see, when you watch WWE, who do you really see as someone that's stepping up and helping that company tremendously?
I think it's great to see that, Max Sydal or Evan Bourne doing really well. CM Punk is doing tremendously well for himself. They're, giving The Miz and Morrison some push, so it's great to see that they, building up some of the younger wrestlers.
Yeah. Okay. Juvenile wants to know, and now this question, the answer might actually be no one. He wants to know who in the wrestling business, if anyone, that you've met that had no respect for the business.
I can't think of anybody right now, but even if I could, I probably wouldn't mention their names. But
pretty good.
I can't really think of anybody right now, to be honest.
All right, nothing wrong with that. I did want to get your opinion on Larry Sweeney, who had just gone through his, I would say, questionable release / departure from Ring of Honor. Do you still keep in contact with him, and is there a chance for him to come back to Ring of Honor, or that they would work something out?
I still talk to him every now and again, and, we'll just see what the future holds.
Okay, because I thought Larry Sweeney, I actually got the chance to wrestle him in a local show around here, and he's